Queer, fruit, dyke, and other vocal words are just a few of the many words many LGBTQ students hear every day. Feeling alone and scared to be who you are because of what society thinks are emotions LGBTQ students face on a daily basis. According to a 2012 Fenway Health article, 80% of transgender students reported feeling unsafe at school because of their gender expression. It is important that students become aware and learn about the LGBTQ community so that LGBTQ students can feel safer.
Bullying, teasing, ostracization, depression, anxiety, suicide attempts, and actual suicides have all been results of students believing that they do not have a voice in society. Bullying and related behaviors may be addressed in a single law or multiple laws and policies according to the state. In December 2010, the United States Department of Education, via StopBullying.gov, reviewed state laws and identified 11 key components common among many of those laws. Being lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer is still viewed as somewhat taboo, and teens feel like they do not have a choice but to stay silent. The LGBTQ historical contributions are not being taught and discussed in public schools. The lack of knowledge about the LGBTQ community and history gives students only a one-sided view of the community and what it's all about.
How do you feel about high schools teaching their students about the LGBTQ community?
I think it should be taught just so it would raise awareness, but in high school, because of people don't really take the whole LGBT thing seriously, so a lot of kids would be against it.
I think that's a good idea. I feel that if we educate our children at a young age, that way in the future they won't have any issues and they'll be accepted in society, in which they should be accepted in society because we're all the same.
Public high schools should offer LGBTQ education classes to their students. In many different parts of the world, LGBTQ students are being harassed and bullied every day by peers and strangers due to lack of knowledge of the LGBTQ community. It is important that more students become educated on the LGBTQ community so that they may feel and be accepted by society.
How do you feel about public schools teaching about the LGBTQ community?
It's actually a law now in the state of California that in public schools we have to include LGBT people of history and back in history, incorporated into social science and into English and those types of things. It's been in law for now 2 years, but it's very slow getting into the curriculum because of the Common Core, the new standards that have kicked in. Not sure if they've really done it. So I know personally what I'm trying to do is let all my social science friends know and the English teachers whenever anything pops up. I email it to them and forward it to them, so they can talk about, the Stonehill riots and all those different things, and about Harvey Milk, and all those people and what happened, back in the late 70s and early 80s when HIV and AIDS started and that kind of stuff. So it's there. It's supposed to be there, but it's super slow getting in.
Do you think these classes are more beneficial or harmful to society?
No, definitely beneficial. Like I said previously, we need to start educating our youth young.
It's more beneficial, as in the same way that we should learn about other countries, not just our country, would be beneficial.
I think it could be a little bit of both. Beneficial in the ways that it would raise more awareness, so over time we can accept it in society. But as of right now, I think it could cause a lot of conflicts when it comes to religion and stuff, especially when it's being taught in a school setting, and knowing that kids are going to be open to it and hear about it a lot more.
Oh, much more beneficial. We need more people to understand all the different lifestyles and what's going on. And the more accepting we are of everybody, then it just makes it that much easier to be human.
This is an issue because students are not being educated about the LGBTQ in our communities and in public schools. Because of this, students are unable to be openly out about their diverse gender and sexuality because of homophobic and transphobic stigmas. Another reason is because our classrooms are not being used for the purpose in which they are intended for. According to a high school counselor on the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network in 2012, said that our classrooms should be a space of diverse education, especially because most of our beliefs and values are rooted by our educators. It is important to support LGBTQ students.
So what will it take to make teens feel safe and accepted in public schools? The first step is education. People fear what they do not know or do not understand. If people were able to have a better grasp on the community, they would be more open to them and more receptive of their lifestyle. There will always be those people who are just so homophobic they will never learn how to work past it, but that's okay. As long as they know they're not alone in this world and that at least a good majority of people actually accept them and their way of life, then teens who fit into the LGBTQ community will have a better chance at a happy and guilt or shame-free life. Nobody should have to live their life in shame and concealing who they truly are just to avoid upsetting a few people who fear the unknown and the unfamiliar. The smallest changes make a huge difference, even with gender-neutral bathrooms. Instead of forcing a student to choose male or female restrooms and forcing them to deal with being bullied just for using the bathroom, simply provide more gender-neutral restrooms. Schools already have them in place for staff and faculty, so why not put in one or two more for those students who would prefer to not be labeled? It's not a hard problem to solve, and with a little flexibility, everyone can be educated in a happy and healthy environment.
How do you feel about gender-neutral bathrooms?
I think it's fine, but not for a school setting, as in there's still kids going through puberty and stuff like that. So, and a lot of kids are still immature, and a lot of kids I know will take advantage of that.
I think it's okay. It just depends. For example, in high school, I don't think that would be right to have.
I don't have a problem with gender-neutral bathrooms if it's a transgender. Now, maybe when they get older, just that this male, female, I'm afraid of what could come out of it.
Would you be comfortable using one?
Not at school, but if I go out and there's a lot of people, if it's an isolated place that has gender neutral bathrooms, then I probably wouldn't use it.
Yeah, I would. I'm an ally.
How do you think parents would feel about this class being offered at public high schools?
There will be some people that will be really upset. I mean, here in Monrovia, it's a very conservative town. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of things that people think, oh, Monrovia is really cool. It's a great city, but it's very conservative. There are people that don't like the fact that we have a GSA, and the fact that rent, when we were going to have Rent as the spring musical several years ago, and the school board actually said no, they couldn't do it, and then our former superintendent got in hot water by saying it was an LGBT issue on television when Channel 9 came and interviewed her, and that just caused all kinds of an uproar. And actually it was one of the main reasons that our former drama teacher left, because of the fact that they weren't going to do Rent.
Public high schools should offer LGBTQ education courses so that the LGBTQ community can feel accepted. Bullying of any kind is never acceptable. By teaching and offering classes on the LGBTQ community, the number of students being bullied can decrease, and LGBTQ students can feel safer expressing who they are. The LGBTQ community is a community that is not going anywhere and is only expanding every year. As fellow citizens, it is important that we all educate ourselves on the LGBTQ community and not treat them as if they are abnormal. In order for there to be equality, we must all spread equality and treat one another without any hate or animosity.